In March of 1984, when authorities escorted 25-year-old Jeffrey Ducett through the Baton Rouge Airport to face charges of kidnapping and sexual assault on a 12-year-old boy.
Retribution and justice, two words often linked in the human experience. But are they really the same? This question echoes through the story of Gary Plauche, a dedicated Air Force officer turned news cameraman, whose life took a tragic turn when he found out that his son had been harmed by Jeff Ducett. Imagine the shock and pain that consumed a father upon discovering such an atrocity. Gary Plauche was more than just an Air Force officer. He was a dedicated news cameraman, known for his honesty and hard work. His life, marked by service and commitment, showed stability and honor. The fateful day that shattered Gary's world arrived suddenly. Jeff Ducett, a name that would forever be etched into Gary's memory, had committed a terrible act against Gary's son. The details of this evil deed are heartbreaking, striking at the very core of a parent's worst fears. As Gary struggled with his son's suffering, their once stable world fell apart. Laughter turned into silence and tear-streaked faces. The pain was real, the anger intense. The emotional and psychological toll on Gary and his family was deep, leaving scars that words can barely describe. On March 16, 1984, an act of vengeance happened live on TV at Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport in Louisiana. Driven by rage and sorrow over his son's ordeal, Gary Plauche seized a critical moment. As Ducett was being escorted by the police, Gary pulled out a revolver and, with a single, loud shot, took his revenge. Chaos followed. The sound of the gunshot hung in the air as onlookers tried to understand what had happened. Police quickly detained Gary while medics tried to save Ducett. The public, watching the drama unfold on their screens, was divided. Some were horrified by the act of vigilante justice, while others sympathized with a father pushed to his breaking point. After this shocking event, Gary Plauche, once a respected Air Force member and news cameraman, faced the court's judgment. The court's decision would shape the future of a father who took a dark path to protect his child. The trial was a fight not just for Gary's freedom, but for the very idea of justice. Despite strong public support seeing him as a desperate parent rather than a cold-blooded killer, the law acknowledged the seriousness of his actions. Gary Plauche was sentenced to 5 years of probation and community service, a punishment some thought was too light given the severity of his crime. The sentencing sparked debates about whether his punishment was appropriate. But what about Gary's son, the young victim at the center of this tragic story? The trauma continued beyond the courtroom, following him like a shadow as he struggled with deep emotional scars. The psychological impact on his son was profound and lasting. The line between justice and revenge often blurs. Decades have passed since that fateful day, yet the question remains, can revenge ever really achieve justice, or does it just keep the cycle of pain and violence going? For Gary Plauche, vengeance was his answer to his son's suffering, a father's desperate cry for justice. Gary's actions are not unique. History is full of cases where people took the law into their own hands in the name of retribution. Comparing Gary's case to other notable incidents shows patterns and motivations that are both compelling and unsettling. The psychological impact of taking the law into one's own hands can be significant. For some, it might provide a temporary sense of relief or closure, but for others, it can lead to long-term emotional and psychological consequences. Gary's case is a powerful example of the internal conflict that comes with such drastic actions. The legal consequences of vigilante justice are severe, often leading to charges of murder or manslaughter. Ethically, the dilemma is even more complex. When does the pursuit of personal justice cross the line into unlawful vengeance? Gary's case forces us to face these difficult questions head-on. Society plays a crucial role in shaping our understanding of justice. Public opinion, media coverage, and cultural norms all influence how we see acts of retribution. Gary Plauche's story highlights the power of societal views in deciding what is just and fair. Gary Plauche's story sheds light on the unclear boundaries between justice and revenge, making us reconsider our ideas of right and wrong. It reveals the troubling reality that sometimes the law seems inadequate when faced with raw human pain. As we reflect on this heartbreaking tale, we must think about the long-term effects of Gary's actions. His revenge did not end with that gunshot. It echoed through his life, his son's life, and the lives of those who witnessed it. In the end, the question remains unanswered. Can revenge ever truly deliver justice, or does it just keep the cycle of pain and violence going? If you found this story interesting, then please like, share, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.